is like generally against Rwanda genocide too. It's like the RPF, Paul Kagame, Rwanda Patriotic Front. That's what stopped the Rwanda genocide. Some people even say double genocide. Whatever. I don't against Paul Kagame, but typically it's either people stop cooperating with the genocide, people flee the genocide, so that they have no more targets, or most usually, a greater army comes in and this takes control. But the problem with Sudan is just like, bro, like you need infantry to hold. You need an entire army to make that place safe for people to live there again. And what has been happening, bro, like when I say this is a story at oldest time, and like Sudan is just the line where the anti-blackness and the Arabs that were trying to ethnically cleanse black people, like that's just where that line stops. But like, bro, this has been happening to Africans for a long time. Yeah, I don't know. Especially when like the country's still getting money, the country's still like trading, like people are wanting to trade with the Dubai, the Emirates, they're still trying to get resources out of there. So it's like they're not gonna like choke like South Africa and stop doing what they're doing. Like the RSF and the Sudanese government aren't just gonna stop fighting. They're not gonna find like people they're not gonna find people that just don't want to cooperate with how terrible the mission is. Like, bro, it's anti-blackness. It's like the shit. Everybody's on the same like game plan. Literally, if one side wins, they're gonna continue the anti-black ethnic cleansing. If the other side wins, they will continue the anti-black ethnic cleansing. I don't know. Unless somebody else thinks, or yeah, that's probably the clearest. What do you think?
I don't know enough.
Oh, I was going to say, what do you think historically has ended genocide?
What has ended genocides?
Yeah.
Nuclear weapons.
Military force.
Or I think in the past, the way they ended is that the people got all killed. But now in the present, it's more like, states like collapse or there's war. Like, if we look at, like ancient things like Tamerlane or Genghis Khan, they just killed over people. Then if you look at like modern day stuff, like the Holocaust or Hitler fell. When ended I actually don't know when what's the Rwandan genocide? It's like, actually I have no idea what caused that stuff. Does anyone know?
Yeah, Paul Kagame and Rwanda invaded Rwanda. They were Paul Kagame and the Rwanda Patriotic Front was exiled outside Rwanda. They invade and then they take over Rwanda, and that's when it's a genocide. They were waiting for help from the international community, and they just were like, "Fuck it, nobody's gonna help us." So like, I don't know. Sometimes a good. I don't even like calling Paul Kagame a good guy, but in that case, he was a good guy with a gun.
Wait, you would say that like ended? Wasn't that more like a triggered, prepared event?
How do you mean?
Like I thought they like were preparing and then like set off with the radio instructions, triggering it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, there's organization. There was
So I'm saying I don't know that. How are you saying that he ended it? I thought they just sort of like sprung it and succeeded, mostly.
Yeah, I'm saying that it was ongoing for like 100 days. Like it wasn't stopping. Like the Rwanda genocide, when it started, it wasn't like they're like, hey, please help us. They set up some refugee camps, but like the UN, some other people did, but like they didn't. Nobody was really stopping the genocide until Paul Kagame marched into Rwanda, marched into Kigali, the capital of Rwanda, and over, stop the genocide.
leaders' goals are reached. In some cases, the mass killing stopped because the group has been largely destroyed, displaced, or has assimilated under duress. Internal political changes, shifts in leadership, the death of the key perpetrator, and external intervention rarely is the primary cause. While direct humanitarian military intervention specifically to stop a mass murder is uncommon, the threat or use of force can be a factor. For instance, NATO's intervention in Kosovo and the UN peacekeeping mission in East Timor helped stop specific instances of mass killings, but these are the exceptions rather than the norm. In general, they do not stop on their own due to internal, moral, or ethical shifts that require substantial external and internal pressure, and often military force or political upheaval. I don't know if that's helpful. Bleak.
Yeah, what do you get from that? What do you think is
I got from that is like most genocides are successful, and like they sufficiently destroy a people or there needs to be like leadership changes. I think the Armenian genocide ended when World War I ended, so there's geopolitical huge, events that could maybe change the situation on the ground.
The Rwandan genocide, at least, backfired, presumably, right? The perpetrators were identified as genocidal and removed from power, and they failed to exterminate.
Nah, it's not happening. Wait, who removed them from power?
I thought, didn't they stop them when what's his face invaded, or wasn't it a switch?
I'm saying Paul Kagame, the current president of Rwanda, invaded in 1994. That's what stopped it. Military invasion.
And then didn't that push the genociders out of power, or did it keep them in power?
Yeah. They pushed them out of power. Yep.
So wouldn't that be that the genociders failed? Meaning it provoked a reaction that caused them to lose the power they previously had?
Yeah, in a sense, but they also did kill nearly, I don't know, they killed an incredible sum of people, a terrible sum. So it's
Sure.
you look at the genocide.
You could consider them accomplished murderers, but could you consider them having succeeded in their dream board goals? If they dreamed of things beyond the murders, like a healthy society where they were free of those pesky living people, would you say they succeeded on that front?
Yeah, to a large degree.
Okay, so how'd they improve their lives?
And how did that improve their lives?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of genocide, bro. I think people like World War II Germany, Khmer Rouge, Cambodia, they feel burning through people. It gets the people going. They feel like people are the fuel to start a society. And in some cases, the Iran-Iraq war, that war helped solidify Iran. Sometimes a war can help, but maybe you have to, and maybe somebody else probably said that politicians think the lives are expendable. So if that's your calculus, you might see, okay, well, if we get rid of this people, we'll improve our situation. And also, if the politicians don't buy it, the people do. The people do buy it as a viable solution. Oh, yeah, and all of our problems come from these people. So, I don't think it solves any problems. Really.
Yeah, I don't think that it solves the genociders' problems. I think more often it removes them from power. It unites too many enemies against them.
Yeah, look at the Namibian genocide. Nobody stopped the Namibian genocide. Nobody stopped the King Leopold position of the Congo. You would have died, entire cultures.
And have these genocide conventions that were established to prevent genocide, have they ever been used effectively? Do they even work? Have they ever stopped a genocide? Have they put pressure or in combination with other factors? I don't know.
I think sometimes it can be helpful. I do think, I don't know, okay, because King Leopold had possession from 1885 to 1907, sometime around then. And the reason he lost possession and it went to Belgium, that also did terrible things to Congolese, but maybe slightly less terrible people, they have limited air supports, like, cause they're not trying to take over the country, bro. So it's like a lot of like warlords see the UN and they're like, oh fuck it, we can fight the UN. You heard about those Irish dudes there's like an Irish UN battalion that like they had a crazy ass not like last stand, but they fought up a bunch of like a warlord like Nazis.
Wait, I'm still caught on genocide conventions. So in the same way that there are like sneaker conventions, there are genocide conventions. Is that what you're talking?
The laws that were put in place after World War II to prevent genocide.
Oh, like the Geneva Convention. Okay. So I asked ChatGPT to give different buckets for why different genocides ended. So it's got bucket 1, the extermination basically completed. It's got a large number of those. And it's got the perpetrators were militarily defeated by external force. It's got some of those. It's got genocidal phase of conquest ends once rule is consolidated. So it doesn't finish wiping people out, but the power is consolidated, so they stop doing the genocide. And they give a few examples of that, much less. And then they have campaign shuts down or dialed back by perpetrators' own central authority. We have some number of those. Then bucket 5 is genocidal wave ends, but persecution continues at a lower level. And then they have 2 of those. So it seems like the number 2 ways it usually goes down is either they kill them all or they get stopped by some other foreign military. There's other things that can happen. Those are the 2 main ones.
Yeah, it's like they kill them all, or they run out of targets. Like I don't know, there's like one Latin American one that's like people ran from mountains to not have targets. Like that can happen, or like you said, they just run out of steam. They accomplish enough of their goal, or they get stopped. Like another military stops. It's like I would love if there was an answer for like, okay, people dead exist, but like, bro, I really feel like South Sudan fucking exists. Like, dog, like the people of Sudan have done it. Like South Sudan literally just brought. I don't know. I feel like that's what happened, and like anti-blackness has been pushing black people further and further south as the Arabs have made like I don't know wars like this.
Right. And I mean, like, primarily, all of the genocides of the past are, like, they were perpetuated because we hadn't come up with the classification of genocide, the danger it has, the failure it is for society, and we're barely even identifying it now, right? And we still don't have the clearest distinctions between that and political unrest, revolutionary action, terrorism, warfare. We're confused about the whole thing. Genocide's new.
When you say there's this new, like, when they...
The label,
I think.
The label is new, which is why it's not exactly relevant why we failed to prevent them. We weren't identifying them yet. But it is interesting what kind of course they naturally go through, how the common ends are success in killing, and then, like, papering it over, getting past it historically, or the other, inciting the ire of neighbors that then destroys yourself. It's like you can flip a coin. You get what you want, or you lose everything.
The thing that's also kind of new is, like, it used to be that when you wanted to kill large groups of people, you would just destroy a city. But, like, so Genghis Khan sacks Merv, and sacked Baghdad, or Nishapur, or Carthage gets sacked. A lot of people die. But then they don't go afterwards, like, all right, we gotta track down more of these guys, like, outside of the city that, are you from Carthage? Let's kill you. Like, part of it's just like logistics. Like, back then, like, oh my god, that would have been a fucking logistical nightmare.
That's a fair point. And like, I think this South Americans a lot. They were trying to fight the Indians, and I didn't really genocide the Indians, but because the Indians didn't have cities, and like the Mongols, when people were trying to fight the Mongols or the Vikings, like how do you fight the Mongols, the Vikings?
The Indians had cities, really impressive cities, but they died from the disease.
You said Muslims?
Yeah.
Oh,
Indians, the natives, they had massive civilization, really very well developed. A lot of the farming techniques were way more advanced than what the Europeans knew how to do. But they died from the disease. It wasn't like exactly superiority or really like cheating each other. It was a genetic number of the fucking plague surviving Europeans.
Well, I'm talking like
One of them had guns also.
yeah, guns.
One side.
Guns like I mean
That worked
Yeah,
both
that's
sides. The natives got the guns quick.
they have shittier guns though. They're like around 1800s. Gun, like 30 years of gun technology makes a difference. I'm thinking like Custer's last stand.
Yeah, guns were kind of bullshit back then. They were pretty good, but the natives picked them up too. In terms of war, like they were formidable, but primarily it was disease. It was the weird post-plague resilience of the Europeans, together with like
But the Trail
sailors.
of Tears, didn't that kill like 1 million?
That's like later. That's what I'm saying. So many died before you get to the point where the Europeans already colonized and declared America and kicked off the king. You know, there's history to.
These are all stages of a genocide.
Trail of Tears, I don't think killed that many people.
I thought it a lot.
It says 13,000, but if you compare that to the millions that
13,000 too many.
But if you compare that to the millions that died from disease, it's kind of a drop in the bucket compared to the overall thing that happened is that diseases fucking wiped them out.
Including diabetes, which they're still dealing with.
Didn't they intentionally give them smallpox blankets?
There's only one example of that happening. I think it's called Fort Hood or something like that.
It was mostly by accident.
It wasn't like a policy. There's only one example out
And
of
where did they catch it? How do we know? How do we study?
Because they were meeting with each other. They traded.
And they all had smallpox?
A lot of the stuff would spread on the goods that they would give. Like they would trade items with each other, and the goods would have the diseases on them.
Who's the historian in this room?
Yeah, I understand disease killed a lot of native First Nations people, but just like even still, things like Custer's Last Stand, Trail of Tears, Andrew Jackson exist. Like there's still extermination attempts when they found gold on Native American land. Or at least ethnic cleansing attempts. This is probably why.
Custer's Last Stand is when the Indians killed Custer.
Yeah. But like Custer was trying to track down the Indians. He was trying to track down the Indians to get a stand-up fight with them, and then he got ambushed.
And Indian is like Native Americans, you mean? Because I'm from Bangladesh and I'm just wondering, what are you talking about?
Native Americans, yeah.
Yes. In the literature of this era, they are referred to as Indians.
Or First
The
Nations.
way language works, languages have homophones. Like when you say like I'm gonna go back in time and I have a human back. Those are like different concepts that are the same word, yeah.
And if it's any consolation, calling them Indians is a nod to the impressive stupidity of the Europeans calling anyone an Indian.
But not stupid.
Wasn't it the idea that
I know, it's impressive. They still discovered that. We gotta clap.
they discovered a place where it was not India. They wanted to find the route to India, right?
I think we can all agree what they found was way better.
They're trying to end.
I think, whoa, that's so ignorant.
I think we should stop. Also, a lot of Native Americans still like that's the phrase that they
So
say.
ignorant. I'm leading the chat. Sorry.
Talking good.
That guy's profile was the most woke thing I've ever seen ever.
Oh no. Am I gonna be canceled?
So like, let's take a quick look at this. Black Lives Matter, trans visibility, pro-choice, intersectional, youth voices count, end violence against women. It's just like, there's many more. He's just got all the buckets. My guy loves his wokeness.
Wait, that guy who was just here.
Yeah, the one that was like, oh, how come you're calling them Indians if they're not from India?
Right. He was trying to virtue signal. Didn't find anyone receptive to his signals.
I mean, he's not wrong, but yeah.
He's not wrong, but it's also pointless. It doesn't add to the conversation. No one's espousing a great sensitivity to
El
the
Normo.
insensitivity of that issue.
I've
It's
lured
just
you in,
irrelevant.
El Normo, to
Whatever.
my
Who cares?
Mikhail web of
I
despair.
took notice, Mixed, that earlier you were
I
saying
tricked you, El
natives, and I was
Normo. I
like,
found you.
that's a good idea.
I
Because
got
that's
you, El
accurate,
Normo. I
no
got
matter
you.
Yeah, no, it's
Quick
correct.
and away, get your
But
dopamine.
like, you have to make space for people to express.
Huh?
Is it coming up?
The good part?
Confusing to me. I understand the literature that said it, but it is confusing.
If you think
Now we're just
Buttercup's the
kind of
good
thinking
part,
about
then yeah.
people from India.
This is live.
What? Is this
this a room right
We
now?
do need a
This
better
is
name
Sam
than Indians.
Rosen's room.
We do have a better name than Indians. I'm
I
sure
know you got some beef with Sam. You put your picture up the other night. You call him a little disgusting
Mistakenly.
punk, and that's exactly what he is.
It doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, it makes me want one of
Yeah, I don't even think it's a mistake though. I think that's just very intentional to alienate people from a
Yeah.
This
I
has
thought they
been a
thought
good
they-
one.
I thought
Simple othering.
they believed they arrived in India at first, and that's why they called them Indians.
That's what they said. Oh.
I mean, when at some point they were aware that they weren't in India and continued using the moniker Indians, which is a dismissal of the relevant distinctions. They didn't care. They were fine with calling them Indians.
Right. It's like we're not in India, but those are Indians. Okay, like, you know.
They look kind of similarly shaded.
And let's also say, I'm not 100% sure India was the name of India at the time. Wasn't it like Indus or Hodu? Hodus?
No?
No, the river valley.
India now.
Hodu.